So LG got in touch and said that they would like me to review their LG Tone FN7 as an audio engineer. So I bought myself some Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro and got my AirPods Pro out of a drawer and thought to myself, LG are going to regret this because they're awesome. So I eagerly opened the box, stuffed them into my ears, and thought to myself, oh no, they're terrible. I can see LG's marketing team right now staring through the screen at me like... Thankfully, the reason they sounded terrible was because I had the wrong size tips in. You have to put the right size tips onto these things to get a really great sound. And I'm so glad that I persevered with these because they do something that I have never ever seen on any other pair of earbuds. The case has a UVC light in it that kills off 99.9% of the bacteria left on the speaker mesh from your disgustingly filthy ears. I should probably point out that the blue light you just saw isn't actually the UV light. You understand that, right? UV light is harmful and invisible. Hashtag science. The point is that if you plug these things into the mains, they will UVnano your earbuds for a solid 10 minutes until all of the bacteria is gone. But if they sounded like blocks of cheese, there would be no point owning them. So here is a video to compare them to the current market leaders. There are two types of noise cancellation in this world: active noise cancellation and passive noise cancellation. And the word passive noise cancellation needs to be put in a bin. It's marketing buzz for plugging up your ears with something. Look, my fingers even have passive noise cancellation. Ooh, I'm a cyborg. Whereas passive noise cancellation is all about physically blocking out the sound with a rubber bung, active noise cancellation is far more impressive. It uses microphones in the earbuds to listen to the noise in the outside world to then produce an inverted phase frequency to pump into your earballs so that you don't hear those sounds. It's especially good at blocking out things like air conditioners and airplane noise, and I can demonstrate it to you now using Derek. If you haven't seen Derek before, Derek is a binaural microphone, and if you put some headphones on now, you should be able to hear me passing behind your head in a very creepy-like fashion. And if you listen very carefully, you should be able to hear this Philips Hue bulb sucking. Yes, terrible. Hello, hello. This isn't ASMR, stop getting excited. Over here, I'm going to press an aircon sound so that you can see what it's like and how it cancels that sound out. Pretty good seal. There you go. That's active noise cancellation now. You can probably hear my voice quite clearly, but you'll notice that a lot of the EQ has dipped off. Get to the point. There isn't a clear winner for this category. I had hoped I would be able to demonstrate them to you using Derek, but unfortunately, the Galaxy Buds and the AirPods Pro just refuse to activate ANC when pressed against Derek's face. You obviously don't like Derek. Hello, darkness, my old friend. So we only really have my opinion on this one, and it's between the LG Tone FN7s and the AirPods Pro. Both of them are absolutely incredible at blocking out sound. They're probably the best I have ever heard. If I have to pick a winner, he's just gonna say his sponsor's the best at everything. I hate Paul Hibbert! No, I'm not actually. Some of the categories are won by Apple. Dear Paul Hibbert, please cut out any category where Apple wins. Yours sincerely, LG. They didn't ask me to do that. I know you're going to say it's because it's my sponsor, but genuinely, the LG Tone FN7s do seem to block out a tiny amount more of the low-end frequency noise than the AirPods Pro do. The Galaxy Buds, on the other hand, don't do anything as far as I can tell. There should be more people saying this because I spent 20 minutes switching the noise cancellation off and on trying to hear the difference. There is none. Winner, LG. I recorded an album of music several years ago, which gives me a fairly unique perspective on what instrumentation should sound like when played through a set of earbuds, because I'm the one that intended that music. But before I give you my opinion on what these earbuds sound like, I wanted to give you an idea for yourself. So I recorded all 3 of them through Derek so that you could listen to them and get an appreciation for what the differences are in the sonic character between each set of buds. I watched a very Apple-heavy channel the other day, trying to convince me that sound quality is barely even a factor. Yes, it is. That's what earbuds are for. The LGs have something called headphone spatial processing by a company called Meridian. And Meridian are actually a company of some prestige because they've worked with Land Rover and Jaguar to make their car stereos sound more sexy. The idea is that it should feel like you're listening to a pair of speakers rather than earbuds because of that spatial processing. And if you EQ these things manually, you will hear things on records that you've never heard before. In the opening to Basket Case by Green Day, I could hear more of the room reverb than I've ever noticed before. I could hear the hiss of the analog tape that they recorded through, and at the end of the track, I could hear the band talking to each other quietly in the background, which is something I've never noticed. All of the earbuds are fairly spectacular to listen to, and the upshot is that the Airpods and Galaxy Buds just have a little bit more warmth in the lower mids. This does give a more pleasing sound to that end of the spectrum, but it loses some of the clarity as a consequence. The LGs have the most clarity across the EQ spectrum, and whilst the Meridian presets do sound good, I think these benefit from a little bit of a manual EQ tweak. And this is where the FN7s really pull ahead. The LG tones can be tweaked to taste using their 8-band equalizer. The AirPods Pro can only be tweaked on an app-by-app basis, which I've always found very frustrating, and in my humble opinion, the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro's equalizer settings do nothing but make the sound actually worse. It's honestly a good job that the Galaxy Buds sound as good as they do straight out of the box, because none of the custom EQ settings give me the sound that I want. Similarly, if you're looking for tweaks to gestures, only really the LG tones have any kind of customization. The Galaxy Buds have the ability to alter what holding them does, but none of the taps can be done. And the same is true of the AirPods Pro. If you're looking for a winner on customization, it's the LG tones all day. In the tiny pocket test, the AirPods Pro are the clear winner. The other cases are unarguably minuscule, but they don't fit in that pocket, and therefore the AirPods Pro are the clear winner for that category. Fun fact, Levi's invented that pocket to store pocket watches. #knowledge. The LG Tone FN7s have Vortex ear gels. Vortex? How exciting. They provide an even distribution of pressure to give you a comfortable fit, and they're made from hypoallergenic material to reduce skin irritation. The Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro feel great in my ear. They're probably the most comfortable, but this comes at a price. There are complaints all over the internet that they just fall out of your ears because they've got nothing to hold them in. They're just kind of flopping around. And I can vouch for this. It does feel very physically comfortable, but not emotionally comfortable because they're expensive. Do other YouTubers do that test? No? Okay. I think purely for comfort factor, there's very little in it between the LG tones and the Apple AirPods, but because they feel pretty much the same in the ear and the Apple AirPods have a smaller case, I have to give this victory to the Apple AirPods. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Time for the final quick-fire round then. All 3 of these earbuds have some level of waterproofing, but only the Galaxy Buds have IPX7, which means that you can drop them in the toilet like the clumsy idiot that you are. All 3 of them have wireless charging, All three of them have the ability to find my buds as long as the case is open or the buds are out of the case, and all three of them have the ability to read your notifications out loud. All three of them are supposed to be able to pause music when you take the bud out of your ear. You take the bud out, music is supposed to pause until you put them back in again. The Airpods, for some reason, will only do this if you're using them on an iPhone. If you connect them to an Android device, they don't do that for some reason. I wonder, why is that? Could that be because? Why would that? Buy our phone! The Galaxy Buds don't bother stopping music at all unless you take both earbuds out. Why? And when you put them back in again, it doesn't start the music back up, which is totally lame. This is actually a deal breaker for me. I wouldn't buy them on this basis. The battery life for the Airpods is pretty weak considering their massive price tag, and they charge the slowest out of the three of them. Aside from that, there's not much between them, but the Galaxy Buds do come out on top for battery life. Aside from this, here's another actual deal breaker for the Airpods, and I am deadly serious about this. The Airpods don't like being left on a desk for any length of time. It's either that or they hate Spotify, and I haven't figured out which it is yet. Stopped working. Brilliant. Thanks. I'll just plonk you back in here for a second, shall I? Put you back in your house. This should never happen. So expensive. Once again, no sound coming out the AirPods. Is that better for you? Have you had a nice rest? Have you? Good. These both say you're listening on Paul's iPhone. I am listening on Paul's iPhone. It's just not coming through. Have a little nap! Have a little nap! Get back out! Put in my ears! They're still doing it! Not a long enough nap! Have another nap! People will say that I'm pandering to my sponsor, mostly because people are dumb. But here is the fact of the matter, the LG Tones are by far the cheapest on this list, at £20 less than the Galaxy Buds, and £130 less than the AirPods. They've got a more natural sound to them, they are more customizable, and they don't suffer from weird issues like, oh, I don't like being left on a desk. Sort that out, Apple, seriously. All the earbuds on this list are great, but I would recommend that if you want to save yourself a bit of money and actually get a better user experience, that you get the LG Tone FN7s. As usual, there are links in the description to where you can pick up the LG Tone FN7s. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. That'll tell YouTube's algorithms it was a good video, and more people should see it. If you want to see some more of this guy, hit that subscribe button and ding that bell. If you ding the bell, it lets YouTube know that you want to be notified when I upload videos. These incredible people here are my patrons from Patreon. Without those guys, this video wouldn't be here. I would have not quit my day job, I would have lost my mind trying to do both, and this wouldn't have happened. They also funded a lot of the earbuds on this list. If you want to be one of those guys, you can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I'll love you forever. These are my Facebooks and my Twitters and my Instagrams. Come and hang out there and we can be best friends. See you next time. Sponsored videos are pointless! I hate prohibit! The LG tones can be tweaked to that hurt. Spatial.